Hi guys! If you love cooking as much as I do, please subscribe and like. My dream is 1,000 subscribers.
Boys and girls of every age, would you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see this our town of Halloween. This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene. Trick or treat, tell the neighbors gonna die of fright. It's our town, everybody scream. In this town of Halloween.
30 things to put on your Parisian bucket list. Number 3, learn to make macarons at Galerie Lafayette. Come learn the tricks of the trade from a French pastry chef as they show you step by step how to make the perfect macaron. First, you'll learn how to make flawless meringue shells with a foolproof recipe. You'll then be shown the technique to piping out even shells every time. You'll be guided through how to make a rich and creamy chocolate ganache, as well as an authentic pistachio filling. Finally, you'll assemble 2 chocolate and 2 pistachio macarons together, ready to take home or, let's be real, eat then and there. Follow along for...
I know literally everybody says their food is delicious and amazing online, but trust me, this is delicious and amazing. It's a twist on a classic flan parisienne, a French custard tart. It starts with a shortcrust pastry, which is filled with a lot of caramelized pastry cream, which is then baked for about an hour until it's slightly caramelized and still with a good wobble. Once it's cooled, it's topped with this delicious salted caramel studded with lots of roasted hazelnuts and allowed to set. I think it's quite possibly the most delicious custard tart I've ever made.
Go and see the world and just show it. It really means to live like golden. Yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down.
The 77th best rated cake in the world.
This cake is dangerous.
Welcome back to Around the World in 80 Cakes, where I bake the best rated cakes in the world. In at 77 is a torta paradiso, a classic Italian bake where the sponge is lighter than air and fluffier than me post-Christmas. You can eat the sponge on its own, fill it, stuff it, do whatever you want with it. I paired the sponge with a whipped condensed milk cream and strawberries, which kind of made it taste like a Kinder Bueno, which is my sort of heaven. I feel like this cake was very much teaching me a life lesson. Keep it simple, Rubes. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. And for the love of God, please have some self-restraint.
Holy cow. I'm ashamed to say, let's go back. I'm unashamed to say this is my second slice of cake in about 5 minutes. I'm in a real...
Our sugar and lemon zest together in a bowl and rub it all together to help release the essential oils to make a very lemony tasting batter. Add a couple of eggs and whisk together until nicely combined and the sugar has dissolved. Then you're going to add a little bit of vanilla bean paste and whisk to combine. Then we're going to sieve in our flour, salt and baking powder, whisking to form a nice smooth batter. Pour in the melted butter and stir just until combined. Pour that into a piping bag and refrigerate. Brush the inside of your mold with some softened butter, dust with flour and tip out the excess. Chilling the madeleine pan as well. And this is going to help the madeleines form their characteristic hump. Hump? Lump. Bump? Let's stick with hump. Pipe about a tablespoon of batter into each mold, and then to get that hump we're going to bake nice and hot until golden brown. And then once cool, brush them generously with your lemon glaze. What if you take a classic French madeleine, stuff it with Nutella, and then coat it in dark chocolate? I think that sounds pretty good. Let's make some. To start, these madeleines are going to be made with a deliciously nutty brown butter, which makes everything taste better. Once the butter is slightly cooled, we're going to mix that into our madeleine batter, which I showed you how to make in a previous video. At this point, the batter can be chilled for up to 2 days before using. As before, make sure you're not putting in too much batter to each mould, otherwise you won't get that classic hump. To add extra flavour and texture, these madeleines are going to be coated with some chopped roasted hazelnuts before baking. Once cooled, we're going to stuff them with a generous amount of Nutella, because why not? It makes everything better. At this point, we're then going to add a little bit of melted chocolate to the depression of each Madeleine mould and then top it with our finished baked Madeleine, pressing it gently into the chocolate. This then gets refrigerated until set. It doesn't get better than that.
What would you do in this situation? A customer contacts me and says, hey, I'm about to come pick up my cake. And I start freaking out because I don't have a cake order for this customer. So I go and look at my order sheets. I'm panicking and I see that the cake's not due till tomorrow. And so when I tell her, she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you I moved the date till today. I have several other orders. I don't have the cake made. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't make this happen. I start feeling really bad about it, that this kid's not going to have a birthday cake, so I decide that I'm just going to make a miracle and make this cake happen. She's very excited. She says thank you so much, and I tell her I'll call her when I get the cake done. After not eating, taking any breaks, stressing like crazy, I manage to make the cake. I contact her and she doesn't answer. I'm so confused and frustrated at this point, and about a couple hours later, she contacts me and says, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd get the cake done in time, so I just went to Walmart. I am just baffled at this point, and I'm like, are you serious right now? She then tells me that she's so sorry and that I can just keep the deposit. What would you do in this situation? A customer contacts me and says, hey, I'm about to come pick up my cake. And I start freaking out because I don't have a cake order for this customer. So I go and look at my order sheets. I'm panicking and I see that the cake's not due till tomorrow. And so when I tell her, she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to tell you I moved the date till today. I have several other orders. I don't have the cake made. So I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't make this happen. I start feeling really bad about it, that this kid's not going to have a birthday cake, so I decide that I'm just going to make a miracle and make this cake happen. She's very excited. She says thank you so much, and I tell her I'll call her when I get the cake done. After not eating, taking any breaks, stressing like crazy, I manage to make the cake. I contact her and she doesn't answer. I'm so confused and frustrated at this point, and about a couple hours later, she contacts me and says, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd get the cake done in time, so I just went to Walmart. I am just baffled at this point, and I'm like, are you serious right now? She then tells me that she's so sorry and that I can just keep the deposit.
Am I wrong for denying a client delivery after they already paid for it? The client and I both agreed to a 2 p.m. delivery to their house. I text the client that I was on my way and she replies, okay. I arrived to the location at 1:55 p.m. and text the client that I was there. She replies and tells me that she had ran out to the store and she would be back in 15 minutes. I reply and tell her that was fine, that I would be able to wait 15 more minutes. 15 minutes goes by and I text the client and ask what her ETA was. She replies and says that now there is traffic and she would be another 30 minutes. I reply and tell her that unfortunately I could not wait 30 more minutes because I had other orders to attend to. I also tell her that she is able to come pick up the cake at a later time. She then replies and tells me that she was not able to pick up the cake because it was out of her way. I reply and tell her that I would be able to deliver, but it wouldn't be until tomorrow. She then tells me that she already paid for delivery, so I should be able to deliver to her whenever she needs. I then remind her that we did both agree to a 2 p.m. drop-off and she was not there. I also remind her that she did sign a policy upon ordering that allows her a 15-minute grace period, like for part 2.
Would you believe me if I told you this cake was named after a plane? Well, it's true. This was created in the 1980s to be served on the inaugural flight of Concorde, and this is a French classic from the 80s called Gâteau Concorde. Originally it's made with chocolate and chocolate meringue, but this is a classic British summer version made with strawberries and cream. You make a whole bunch of meringue discs, and then it gets layered up with a white chocolate cream and a layer of strawberries that have been infused with just a hint of mint. This gets layered up like a cake, and then you're going to cover the whole thing with just a little bit extra cream so that everything is sealed in. At this point, you're going to take all these meringue sticks that you made, cut them into small pieces, so they're just these nubbly little bits of meringue, and press them over the entire top and sides of the cake. Strangely, this now gets refrigerated so that the cream and the meringue can meld a little, so everything just softens a little bit and it's easier to slice. I like to decorate the cake with some fresh strawberries so it has a really nice contrast, and then we're just going to serve it. It's summery, it's so delicious and much easier than it looks. It'll seem incredibly fancy. It's actually not too difficult to make.
Then fuck it all together. Be right back, I've got to plug it in. Why do they design these things with a pin dick of a cord? Do they think I process food up against a fucking wall? That's all mixed together. Milk, cream, 6 eggs. You're fucking up my fridge, lady. 1, 2, 3. Get the fuck off. Don't try to run now, sperm tail. 4, 5, 6. Lightly beat it. That was great. Now lightly beat the eggs. Add it in. Vanilla. Now process it until it's combined. Don't over fucking mix. It looks like chocolate milk. Get a baking tray. I'm using the Hexclad. And no, I'm not fucking promoting it, Gordon. I've had some issues. Grease it. Add raspberries. Evenly distribute them. Otherwise you're gonna have fucking raspberry clusters. It's gonna look like a miscarriage. Pour the chalky milk in. See these bits of chocolate? Add them in too. In the oven. Sugar. Chocolate bits at the bottom, custard in the middle, raspberries on the top, icing sugar on top. Fucking beautiful. And now to piss everyone off, but to give me an erection, ice cream. Why are you making me so fucking happy right now? Enough said. And just before you go, have a good fucking day.
السلام عليكم الحادقات. اليوم غادي نشارك معكم وصفات الباكيت الاسرار كيفاش يجيكم ناجح مقرمش من برا ورطب ومهوي من الداخل. احتفظوا بالوصفه وسجلوها لانه ملي غادي نجربوها ما غاديش تبقاو تستغناو عليها. المقادير مضبوطه غادي نخلي لكم اسفل الفيديو. في الكاس تيرموميكس غادي نديروا الماء السكر والخميره وغادي نستخدموا 2 دقائق 37 سلسيوس سعره رقم 2. من بعد كتزيدوا دقيقه الخبز من النوع الممتاز، زيت الزيتون والملح، وكديروا التعجين في مود العجينه 3 دقائق. العجينه خاصها تكون بالقوام الموضح في الفيديو. تقلبوها في بول مدهونه بالزيت. كيف كتلاحظوا القوام تاع العجينه رائع جدا. كطويوها 2 طويات وكتغطيوها وكتخليوها تخمر نص ساعه حتى ل 45 دقيقه. من بعد كتغطسوا يديكم في الماء وكطويوها 3 طويات حتى ل 4 طويات. غادي تلاحظوا تشكل الفقاعات وهذا دليل على نجاحها. كتفزقوا يديكم بعد كل طويه، كتعاودوا تغطيوها وتخمروها ربع ساعه حتى لنصف ساعه. كتكرروا هذه المرحله 3 مرات، وفي المره الاخيره كتخليوه يخمر 45 دقيقه حتى لساعه. كتقلبوها فوق سطح مرشوش بالدقيق. كتقدروا تستعنوا بالميزان ديال التيرموميكس باش كتقسموها لاربع اجزاء متساويه. كل جزء كتشكلوه على شكل كره وكتسرحوهم وكتشكلوهم على شكل حرابل كيف موضح في الفيديو. من بعد كتبداو تدوروهم على سطح العمل من الوسط للجوانب حتى كيتشكل لكم شكل ديال الباقي. كتشرطوهم بزوار 3 شرطات مايله وكتخليهم يخمروا 45 دقيقه وكترشوهم بالخليط اللي غادي نخلي لكم اسفل الفيديو. كتدخلوهم الفرن مسخن على درجه الحراره 450 فرنهايت. كتخفوا الماء طايب في الطاوه كتكونوا دايرينها في الفرن وكترشوا بالماء جوانب الفرن وكتخليوه يطيب حتى كيتحمر لمده 18 دقيقه حتى ل 20 دقيقه. وهكا كيكون واجد. كدانوا الحاجه المفضله عندكم. انا هنا دهنتو الفرماج اللي صايبته في الترموميك وبالصحه والراحه. ولا بغيتوا الوصفه بشرح مفصل كتلقاوها في القناه ديالي على اليوتيوب ايمان كوكين انسبيريشن.
Guys, do you want to learn how to make the easiest, fudgiest brownies ever? Follow along, because this one only has 8 ingredients. I was going to lose the oil there. Quinn's golfing tonight, but he's going into work tomorrow, so I figured he could take in some treats. First, we need to melt half a cup of butter. Melted. Stunning. This recipe's the best because you can do it all in one bowl. I'm using my KitchenAid, but you don't need to. In. 1 tablespoon of oil. You can use coconut oil, too. In. 1 plus 2 tablespoons of fine granulated sugar. In. 1, 2. Right. Give it a mix for about 1 minute. Just like that. That's it. Now we add the eggs and vanilla. 2 eggs. Please rate this crack out of 10. Just a little bit. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. In. Mixing the eggs really well is what gives you that crackly top, so do it for like 2 to 3 minutes. Give it a mix. It will go from this to this. It gets super light and fluffy. Stunning. And for the dry ingredients, I just sift them right in. 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. In. 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. In. Bit of salt. And shake it out. This makes it so easy and not messy at all, which I always need help with. That's literally it. You could do this last little bit with your hands, but I'm just going to use the mixer, but don't overmix. Give it a mix until just combined. Like that, and then I'll just scrape the edges. Give it a little scrape. I wish you could smell this. Just look at that. Okay, wait your turn. Grab an 8x8 baking pan. I just put a little bit of butter in the corners and then lay down the parchment paper. That way it gets a nice seal. Exactly. The oven's preheated to 350. Pour it in. Spread it out all the way to the edges. Just like that. This is optional, but I'm adding some cheeky chocolate chips on. These look perfect. The oven's at 350. These are going in for 20 to 25 minutes. Going in. Now we wait. I'm actually gonna edit this video and post it, and then by the time you watch it, the other one will be up. This is my first time trying raspberry bubbly. 7.5. Ananas better. Okay, see you when these are done. You're welcome.